Hello, folks. Hope you're doing all right. That's a weird... Welcome to Stay Well with Dr. Zorba Pastor. That's you.
That's me. Hope you're doing all right.
I'm doing all right. I'm Karl Christensen, and I'm sitting across the desk from the one and only Dr. Zorba Pastor, family doc, father of four, former host of his beloved National Public Radio show.
That's right. Yes,
Very
that's right.
beloved, right?
Yeah, 35 years in counting. That's pretty good.
It's not bad.
The show has legs. We are now continuing it on the podcast. And, you can call us anytime. It's 608-492-9292. That's 608-492-9292. Or you can email at askdrzorba@gmail.com. Spell it out, askdrzorba@gmail.com. But, Karl, I think you just went to a park called Yellowstone.
You've heard of Yellowstone? Yeah, it's this little park out west.
Tell me about it. That's right.
Well,
huge.
It was the classic family road trip, two
Chevy
kids.
Chase road trip.
Exactly. We packed up the family truckster and drove out west
Yeah.
with the two kids and my wife, Christine. It was amazing. We did it all. We saw a lot of animals. We saw some grizzlies. We saw
I've never seen grizzlies.
Several grizzlies.
Never. Wow.
Some were happier than others. One grizzly did not seem like he wanted us around, and so we got out of there pretty fast.
You know how many grizzly deaths there were in the U.S. last year? Probably one.
So not many.
Do you want to know the animal that causes more death than anything else are insects? They're like bees and hornets.
Right.
500 to 750 deaths a year from anaphylaxis, from an allergic reaction from that. But anyway, please go on. Grizzlies.
That's funny. Well,
grizzlies.
You know what? You just segued perfectly into what I want to say.
Really?
So about
Really?
bees, yeah. So we were doing a little hike and we went down into this kind of river canyon.
Mm-hmm.
It was beautiful. And the kids wanted to kind of walk across on the rocks through the river and wade through the water. It was beautiful. And my 10-year-old, he all of a sudden goes, "What? Snake!" And he yells snake. And we look, and I'd say less than a foot from his foot is a water snake that looked pretty 2 to 3 feet long, like pretty good sized water snake.
Scary.
So he jumps out of the way, and we kind of watch it. It's just sitting there still, kind of slithering, looking at us. And we get out of the way, and it kind of slithers away. And then as soon as that happens, he gets stung by a bee.
Oh, wow.
Right in his arm. Just boom.
Pain.
Yeah, it was like, so he avoided the snake bite, but then he just got bit by it.
Yeah.
So anyways, we had to hike back up, and it was the first time he's ever been stung by a bee. We hike back up. There's like this little kind of gift shop shack up there, and there's a Yellowstone staff ranger, maybe. I think he's a ranger. He had a big mustache, like he was kind of a Sam Elliott kind of guy, He was just like, and he sounded like Sam Elliott. And he was like, here's what we're going to do. Anybody in your party smoke cigarettes? And we're like, no, why? And he goes, all right. And he goes back to the break room. He comes back with a single cigarette. He unfurls the cigarette, grabs some of the tobacco, puts it under a little water, and then he's like, you got a Band-Aid? And we're like, yeah. And he puts this wet little wad of tobacco on the sting, puts a Band-Aid over it, and he says, here you go. It's a poultice, a tobacco poultice. It's going to draw the venom, the stinger out, and it's going to make the inflammation go down. And sure enough, within a half hour,
really, it was better.
He was great.
It was better.
It was amazing.
Yeah, it was great.
Have you heard of that before?
I love it.
A tobacco poultice?
No, I've never heard it. But there are a lot of poultices that are done with vegetables, with vegetables and vegetation. So hey, he knew what he was talking about because it worked. But I would not recommend that you start smoking, so that you actually can keep tobacco products in your house. But hey, it worked, and it's a good example of folk remedies. I'd love to hear about folk remedies because, hey, that's what science and medicine is all about, discovering new things and old ways.
That's right. All right, let's talk about what we're going to do on the show. We're going to discuss new research about how much time Americans spend on the screens versus reading.
A lot of time.
For pleasure. Zorba will answer listener questions about sciatica, wine, and acupuncture. That sounds like a Bukowski book, kind of. We'll also look at a new study about CBD and the potential risk for liver damage, and we'll dig into the history of the original snake oil salesman in our Quacktails segment.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
The guy who invented snake oil. Mr. Snake Oil. Yeah,
man.
Exactly. All right, the phone number to call anytime if you have a question for the good doc is 608-492-9292. 9292. You can call and leave a voicemail anytime. And
Anytime.
maybe we'll be on the show.
And you can email us at askdrzorba@gmail.com. Spell it out, askdrzorba@gmail.com.
Let's get right into our healthy living topic first. Let's talk about Americans and our unhealthy relationship with screens.
Yeah, really? Am I telling you anything that you don't know? Right.
Well, there's new research, right?
Go
There's
to
always
any
research on screens.
restaurant, you see people, they're not talking to one another and they're
Right.
on their screens.
On the phone.
It's a big issue. But the issue is people are reading less. Now, it is true. You are reading on your screen. You're reading stuff and looking at stuff. But the reality is we are not reading as much. So I'm going to ask you a question. Put on your thinking cap.
Me? Okay.
Put on your thinking
I'll
cap.
try.
So I can just see it. Thinking cap. After college, we're talking about college-educated men, okay, specifically. How many men have never read a book for pleasure after they graduated college?
Like a percentage you're looking for here?
Go ahead.
I'm going to guess
Thinking.
40%.
That's right. 30 to 40%
Is it really?
have never read a book for pleasure after they finished college.
That's a problem.
I mean, that's a problem. Now, I'm not talking about reading a book where you want to do something, you want to learn something, but just reading a book for pleasure. So people are reading less and less, and they're also reading to their children less. That's a big problem because we know that reading to your child, especially when they're younger, increases IQ points. So the big issue, I think the takeaway is we know people are spending too much time with their screen, but the reality is reading, when you're reading for pleasure, and we're talking about reading things such as fiction, is you're imagining. And we know that imagining things and imagination is very important for memory because it actually is a way of stimulating your brain. If you look at MRI scans, it's very different than when you're looking at something topical. So let's say you want to fix your bike. You ever want to fix your bike?
Sure. Flat tire. Something like that.
And you want to read about it, so you might go to YouTube and you'll see how to fix the bike. Or I go to YouTube University to fix something. Okay, so I'm looking at somebody fix something. But when you have to read something and you're using your imagination, you're using a different part of your brain, which is very, very important to keep your memory. So I tell people, you don't have to do crossword puzzles. I'm dyslexic, so I never do crossword puzzles.
No Sudokus or anything?
So I don't do any of that stuff, but
Wordle?
I read all the time.
Okay.
Wordle is good. People love it. I don't like it myself. I'm not interested in that.
We're going to get some hate mail for that.
You're going to email, anti-Wordle. Email said, I don't like it. I didn't say it's bad for you. But reading produces imagination. It lights up different parts of your brain. People are always worried about their memory. And the way to improve your memory is to read more. I hope we don't get too much anti-Wordle email. That's exactly what.
We'll
People
find
just
out.
love their Wordle. I mean, they go, my goodness, let me tell you what I did in Wordle today. I walked down the street and people are discussing Wordle. I mean, I can't believe it's Wordle.
There's Wordle fanatics. It's almost like pickleball fanatics.
I was going to say, it's exactly
Should there
what
be
I was thinking.
Really? That's funny.
It's like pickleball. People say, let me tell you about pickleball. No, I don't want to hear about pickleball. I don't want to hear about Wordle.
We're going to get pickleball hate mail now.
And Wordle.
Nothing wrong with pickleball,
That's
folks.
Right.
Nothing wrong with Wordle.
Anti-pickleball and anti-Wordle email, askdrzorba@gmail.com. We want to hear from you. And of course, 608-492-9292.
Just keep
you can
dialing
put it as many
9292.
times as you want to, and it's not going to make a difference. You will get to our voicemail.
Let's do a voicemail now. Let's try to help out a listener from Florida.
I'm 76 years old. I'm in pretty good health, but lately I've noticed my balance is, for some reason, has gotten pretty poor. And my knees, I used to love to walk, but my knees have bothered me for quite a while. And at times it feels like they're kind of dead below the knee. I've injured both of my knees in the past, never received any, never got any treatment for them. And also I have a bad back, and that probably affects my balance. But I was just curious about what he thinks about acupuncture, and if that might be something that might help, benefit me. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Well, first of all, if you've got trouble with balance and you're older, you need an evaluation. And the reason could be you need a little muscle strength. You may need a little physical therapy. If you've got pain, I always tell people you can try acupuncture first. But when it comes to balance, you do not want to fall. Falling over the age of 65 is bad news. So this gentleman needs to see somebody. You see their doctor or their primary care person, might be a PA or a nurse practitioner. You need to see somebody. You also often have to go to physical therapy because PTs are great. They will do a gait analysis. You've got to find out whether or not you need an assistant device, such as a walker or a cane. But you really have to find out what it is. Not a question that I can answer over the phone, except my answer is you got to get help.
Is a gait analysis? Like they watch you walk, how you walk?
They watch how I walk.
Gotcha.
They also not just do that. They check out a PT. They check out the strength of your legs. They also see whether or not the balance may have something to do any other part of your body. When you look at exercise, there's aerobic exercise, there's strength exercise, and there's balance. There really are three different things. They're all us. But a good physical therapist can tell what you need, how to do it, and how to do it correctly. But I wouldn't just try acupuncture. I'd get sound advice.
Clinky Cleaners is sponsoring this episode. Okay, Zorba, you've been taking your clothes to Clinky Cleaners for decades, right?
Of course I have. Let me ask you, Karl, do you ever get your clothes dirty?
Never. Yes,
Never,
I do.
Right, of course you do.
Of course I do.
And some of your clothes can't be washed at home in the washing machine.
Right.
And they need dry cleaning. So I and Penny and the family have been going to Clinky Cleaners for decades. But not only that, when I traveled a lot, I happen to like to have my shirts done because I want to have them just perfect because they did a lot of lecturing. And I would have Clinky Cleaners take care of my shirts because, among other things, I love just picking them up and having them just smell right and be perfect. And, sometimes I don't feel like doing my own laundry. So I've gone to Clinky Cleaners. I love it.
Yeah. And did they take care of all those Grateful Dead t-shirts that you had and those lab coats that you have?
Clinky Cleaners, locally owned since 1958. When you go there, tell them Zorba sent you.
Okay, Zorba. Throughout the history of medicine, we've seen countless contraptions and elixirs claiming to cure ailments and professing miraculous health benefits. So let's trudge through the murky waters of medical quackery in the segment we call Quack Tales. Quack Tales.
I had to say that. That's right.
All right.
That's right.
All right. That's good. I should add that into that theme. When talking about medical quackery, we often hear the term snake oil, right?
Right.
Let's learn about Clark Stanley, the original snake oil salesman.
Right. He actually was the original. That really is where it came from because he made a ton of money. His snake oil concoction, which, by the way, did not have snake oil, but we'll talk about, but he claimed it did, cost the equivalent of $450 roughly a bottle.
Wow.
So it made him really, really rich. Now, it's interesting because he said you had to make snake oil liniment from basically snake oil. You get a snake, a special snake, and you boil down the snake and you make oil from it. You can just imagine he was a really good salesman. And maybe it was the equivalent of like, icy hot. But really what happened is when the Chinese came in and they were working on the railroad, they had a Chinese water snake, basically dried material that they put in different types of oils and they would use when they were working on the railroad and they had lots of pain. And Clark Stanley came in and said, this is great. I'm going to make $1 million out of this, which I bet he probably did. But in 1917, the Food and Drug Administration actually started. And they stopped him from selling it because, lo and behold, it did not even contain snake. It contained mineral oil, red pepper, turpentine, and get this, cow fat.
Oh, sure.
And he had been selling it already for 24 years, making tons of money. So, yes, ladies and gentlemen, there was an original cowboy snake oil salesman, and his name was Clark Stanley.
Clark Stanley. I don't know what it is. I never trust people who have two first names. Clark Stanley.
Clark Stanley.
Yeah.
Well, would you?
He could have been
Stanley Clark.
Stanley Clark.
Stanley Clark Stanley. That's right. But hey, I live in Oregon, Wisconsin. So when I tell people on the phone when I get something, live in Oregon, Wisconsin, they go, Oregon, isn't that the state? And I go, no, that's Oregon.
Yeah.
This is Oregon.
Yeah, and you're pronouncing it wrong.
That's right. Yeah, you're pronouncing it wrong if they're saying Oregon. Anyway,
all right, snake oil.
There was a snake oil salesman who did not sell oil made of snake.
If you have a question for us, you can call the show anytime at 608-492-9292. You could also email askdrzorba@gmail.com.
And come to our website, drzorba.org. Spell it out, Dr. Zorba.
And of course, you go to the Facebook page. There's all kinds of places you can go. We have the Facebook page. Let's take a listener question from that Facebook page. This is from Leslie in Stilt, Colorado, who asks, does wine exacerbate sciatica?
Oh, I don't think so.
No?
I don't think it does. The thing that exacerbates sciatica is basically sitting on a chair where you put pressure on the sciatic nerve. So what you want to do is you want to be in a soft, cushiony chair, or you want to buy a donut. They kind of look like donuts. You blow them up, or they're also made of foam. So you basically are taking the area of your buttock that's painful and making it so you're not actually sitting on that, but you're sitting on other parts of your buttock. Your buttock, by the way, is the biggest muscle in your body. We think of buttocks as just having fat. They do have fat, don't get me wrong, but they also have muscle. And you want to basically make sure the muscle over the sciatic nerve is not activated. A donut is the way to go. Not a donut that you eat.
Not a real donut?
Not a real
Not
donut.
A fun
well,
donut.
It is a real donut.
It's a real donut.
It's just not a donut that you eat.
You could probably eat one of those things. Someone's maybe tried that.
No.
Don't do that.
No.
It's a healthy living show. You do not condone that.
That's right. We do not condone eating plastic donuts.
All right, Zorba, let's go behind the curtain now, which is, what is behind the curtain again?
Well, behind the curtain is what you don't know about something that you should know.
That's
Very
right.
important stuff.
Okay.
And a good example of this is CBD.
Oh, sure.
So CBD is touted for everything at all, from cancer to heart disease, from sexual dysfunction to appetite, dysphoria, a whole bunch of different things. And we think of CBD, you can take it, it's safe, it's natural, it's going to be fine. But the answer is it is natural, it's CBD, so it's, generated from natural product. But the answer is it may not be safe. And there's very good evidence now that there are a number of people that are intolerant of CBD and they don't know it. So this was in JAMA Internal Medicine. 200 people, double-blind, placebo-controlled trial. People took the upper limit of normal of CBD in commercial products, okay? Go to the store, drink CBD, go to the store, take CBD tablets, whichever way you want to take it. And 5%, between 5 and 6% of the people had liver dysfunction. Their liver enzymes were 3 to 5 times the normal range.
Wow.
Not 3 to 5% over the normal range, 3 to 5 times the normal range.
That's significant.
It's very significant because the question is you're putting stress on your liver. And if you're taking CBD all the time and you're one of those 5% of the people that basically are intolerant of CBD, over time you may get hepatitis from it. You may get something called NASH, which is a non-alcoholic sterotic liver dysfunction, basically. And you may end up moving towards cirrhosis. It may be that CBD may be as bad for your liver for many people who drink too much alcohol every single day. It's not been on the market long enough to know that for sure. We know that people often have to drink alcohol for 10 to 20 years before they get cirrhosis. But this is a wake-up study. And the wake-up part is to say CBD is not always healthful for you and may have side effects. And if you're taking CBD every day and you go to your doctor, you've got to tell your doctor you're on CBD and make sure you get liver enzymes measured because it's not totally safe.
All right, Zorba, what did we learn today?
We learned a lot.
We learned about if you get stung by a bee, you could put some tobacco poultice on there. It worked for my son.
Thanks to your son. Thanks to the folk remedy person in Yellowstone.
We learned about screen time versus reading real books for fun.
Gotta read more. Very important for your brain.
Yeah. Learned about acupuncture. We learned about the OG Snake Oil Salesman.
That's right.
The Thomas Edison of snake oil.
Clark
Stanley.
That's right.
Not Stanley Clark. Clark Stanley. We learned about sciatica, and we just learned a little bit about CBD concerns.
That's right. And that's what we do every single week on the podcast. Listen to us all the time. Remember, you can call us at 608-492-9292. You can email us, askdrzorba@gmail.com. And don't forget our website, drzorba.org, and comment on our Facebook page.
Should we do it again, Zorba?
Yes, absolutely. Next week, we will be here.
Stay well.
Stay well.